we analyze the poems, I will explain in a few words the method with which we work. That is Dimitris Kakalitis. He passed away in 1995. Bula has already told you about him. He was the one that created and taught the method that we're going to talk about today. And he did that in 2 volumes that he has written. It's the wisdom of the poem and the wisdom of the short story.
Sorry, I don't think you're speaking through the microphone.
I'm not, it's switched off.
Then? Okay.
But you were listening without the microphone. Wait,
Okay. I will use it anyway. So, these are the 2 books he has written. Bula has already told you about them as well. So, in these books, he analyzes 36 short stories and 100 poems through the method that we are going to discuss. The people of the letters and arts in Greece and scholars from abroad have characterized and said about these books that they are the beginning of a new literary school and that they are a gem for the letters. Okay. So, the method. This method is not about critique or about philological elaboration. What we want to do when we have a poem or a short story is to find the inner wisdom that lies within it. So, what happens is that we take all the elements that the creator gives us, the small, the specific ones, perhaps what it seems limited, and we take these elements and we see how they unfold and how all this proceeds to the infinite and the amorphous. So all this is aimed at eliciting the essence that is already hidden inside poetry, inside literature. And why do all that? To help people and inspire people how to achieve well-being in everyday life, how they can be well through reading poetry through this way. Okay. So, to start with, there are some basic principles when we start analyzing. Okay, that all creation is spiritual, all creation is the entity, and every creation, every work of art that we have already contains truth, knowledge, and universal wisdom. We start with these as facts. And after that, the next thing that we do is, when you read the poem, you start with the inner belief that the human being is a complete being, that we are already complete, but we are not aware of it. And through every creation, the human spirit is expressed. So, by examining the relations between humanity and the entity, we can see how we already have the ability to dissolve all limitations and constrictions we put to ourselves and spread out to infinity and experience the universal self. We will do that through Kavafis and Sicilianos, don't worry. Okay? We will see how it works. So basically, this is the path of the method we use. To take the human being and unfold it, twirl it, we could say, in an ascending spiral. And you unfold the thoughts, you unfold the emotions of the human being, and then you see that it's not as limited as, we are not as limited as we thought ourselves to be, but we are actually spread out to infinity. To do this, we use some tools, which I'm going to talk about. Yeah. First of all, is desymbolization. So, I don't know if any of you write, if we have any poets or writers amongst us, or if you read, you already know that all the names, the places, the events that the writers use, they're used as symbols. And symbols work in a magical way, because they already have in them pan-human truths. So by desymbolizing the symbols, we can reach to that inner wisdom that we were talking about. So in this method, we use 3 levels of analysis. We start with the human being. So first of all, we read the poem, since we are going to talk about poetry today. So first we read the poem and we see what does the poet want to say in terms of the human being, of one person. What does he want to say? Then you read the poem again and you see how this same thing applies and can be extended to humanity. What happens, so we see what happens inside humanity and how the human being is connected to humanity. And then the third level of analysis is what happens in the whole of creation, in the whole of the universe, in the universal self, as we were saying earlier, and how, again, all these 3 are connected, one with the other. So apart from the symbolization, we do the same thing with numbers. So each word is being translated, not each word of the poem, but the ones that are more significant, we could say, can be translated into a number. And then, by using the essence of this number, we can also find the secret message of the word. It is very much based, as we have here, in the teachings of Pythagoras, Homer, Plato, in ancient Greek philosophy. And again, it's a method that it's a very integrated method. It synthesizes and integrates all schools of thought, both the ancient Greek ones, since we are Greek, it's our tradition, but not only. Every school of thought is synthesized, taking the essence of each one of them, so as to help us understand. Another part, which is important, and we're going also to see it in one of the poems we will analyze today, is the unification of the opposites. What we can see through this method of analysis is that in the poems, many times we can find the opposite forces that exist within the human being. And we also find the struggle of the human being that does not know what to do with these opposite forces. So through the analysis, we get a way to connect these opposites and to unify them. And through that, through this unification, man can be led to inner freedom. Okay, another part is the equation of matter and spirit. It is based on the principles that all creation is spiritual and that everything contains the spirit. So we can see that in the analysis, how matter and spirit is actually one and the same. And also, as I was saying earlier, because it is an integrative method, taking the essence of each philosophy, it also takes the essence of science, history, of myths from all over the world, to consolidate, to enrich the analysis, and also consolidate the belief in the human being that he cannot be well in his life or her life. Okay, so why to do all these things and why to analyze a poem or a short story? with this method, and where do we aim? What is the aim? As I have already told, but I want to emphasize this, the main aim is to assist the human being to be well in everyday life, to learn how to be well in everyday life through a way which can be practical, a way which we can apply in everyday life. So in order to do that, through the analysis, we learn how to go beyond appearances, we learn how to deepen into the ideas, how to find this inner wisdom and find the essence in everything, in poetry, so in our lives as well. We learn how to be open to new ideas, to new currents of thought, and how to overcome weaknesses. I don't know if all this makes sense, but we can do it through poetry, through this method. And as a conclusion, I will read this because it's my favorite part. So, nature talks to people with all of its symbols. At its every stage, at its every significant event, the evolutionary course of the universe is reflected, the evolutionary course of man. At every moment, what is grand and magnificent is disclosed in what is small and limited. The poets have the gift to unite with the world, to reach sources transparent and clear, to create their myth with symbols. And every myth, every creation of work becomes a small universe that evolves inside the soul of the reader, helping him to find his way to his pure spiritual nature. So I'm going to invite Mariana up, hand her the microphone at last, and we shall start with the universe of Cavafis.